I slept with my cousin while drunk, and I fell in love with her. Yeah, it sounds like the beginning of a bad movie or some fake confession from the internet, but it really happened to me. I'm 25 years old, I live in Seattle, and I work for a small IT company. I always thought of myself as a normal guy, someone who knows his limits, someone who understands what's right and what's wrong. Until that night. My cousin Claire is 2 years younger than me. We hadn't seen each other in almost 8 years, not since she moved to Texas with her parents. When we were kids, we spent every summer together, riding bikes, fishing, building forts near the lake. She was always cheerful, full of energy, with that warm laugh and brown eyes that could see right through you. Last summer, our family had a big event, our cousin's wedding. Everyone gathered in one place, including Claire. I remember pulling my suitcase out of the car when I heard a familiar voice behind me say, "Hey, remember me?" I turned around and saw her. She was all grown up, beautiful, confident. Her hair was longer now, but the smile was the same. Only her eyes had changed, softer, more mature. At the wedding party, everyone was drinking, dancing, laughing. I don't usually drink, maybe a glass of wine sometimes. But that night I did. Maybe it was the nostalgia. Maybe the loud music and family chaos, I don't know. Claire came up to me with a cocktail and said, "Come on, cousin, relax for once." And I did. Too much. We talked for hours about childhood, about school, about how life had changed. The more I looked at her, the more I realized I was attracted to her. Not as a relative, not as family, but as a woman. And that thought scared me. Close to midnight, we stepped outside for some fresh air. It was quiet, just the sound of crickets and cars passing in the distance. She was laughing as I tried to remember the nickname I used to call her. I think it was Claire Mandarin. She came closer, just enough for me to feel her breath. Our eyes met, and for some reason I kissed her. She didn't pull away. She kissed me back. We went back into the house. Most people had already gone to bed. The music had faded. The lights were dim. And then it happened. Quickly, awkwardly, surrounded by the smell of alcohol and her perfume. It felt wrong, but at the same time I couldn't stop myself. I woke up early the next morning. She was still asleep next to me. I just watched her for a while. Her calm face, her soft hair. Then the shame hit me like a wave. I got up quietly, got dressed, and left the room. I felt like I had betrayed something sacred. Family, morals, myself. The rest of the day we avoided each other. At breakfast, I caught her glancing at me, but she looked away immediately. When everyone was leaving in the evening, she came up to me and said quietly, "We were drunk." It shouldn't mean anything. I nodded, but inside I knew. It already meant everything. After the wedding, I went back to Seattle and tried to forget. I worked late, went out with friends, tried to focus on anything else. But every night I kept thinking about her, the way she smiled, the way she looked at me before we kissed. A couple of weeks later, I broke. I texted her, just, "Hey, how are you?" She replied almost instantly, "Hey, I've been thinking about you too." That sentence hit me right in the chest. From that moment, we started talking every day. At first, it was just small talk. Then it got deeper, more personal, eventually intimate. She told me she couldn't stop thinking about that night, that she felt guilty, but also something else, something she shouldn't feel for family. And I realized I had fallen in love, really, deeply in love. A month later, I went to Austin under the excuse of a business trip. We met at a small cafe. The moment I saw her, it was like the last 8 years had never happened. She wore a light dress, her hair tied back, that same smile that completely disarmed me. After dinner, she said, "Come to my place. We can talk properly." And it happened again. This time, sober, deliberate. After that, we knew it wasn't a mistake anymore. We started dating, secretly, of course. No one in the family could know. Every month I flew to see her, pretending it was for work. We'd rent a small apartment, watch movies, walk around the city, talk about life, dreams, everything. Those months were the happiest I've ever had. But hiding got harder. Lying, making excuses, deleting messages. Sometimes I'd see pictures of her with her parents or friends, and something inside me twisted painfully. I wanted to be part of her life, but I knew I couldn't. After 6 months, she told me she couldn't keep doing it. that she was tired of living in fear, of pretending. She said that if we were just two ordinary people, it would have been different. That night I cried in front of her, the first time I'd ever cried in front of a woman. I said, "I don't want to lose you." She looked at me and said, "You already lost me the day we were born into the same family." After that, she disappeared, deleted my messages, blocked my number. I tried calling, writing, nothing. Silence. I fell apart. I stopped eating, barely slept, quit my job. I'd sit by the window at night and replay that wedding in my head. The music, her laugh, the first kiss. Almost a year passed. I got a new job, moved to a different apartment, started to function again. But inside, the emptiness stayed. Sometimes I see a girl with similar hair on the street and my heart skips a beat. Recently, I found out through family that Claire is engaged. And the strange thing is, I didn't feel jealousy, just a quiet sort of gratitude that at least she found her way to be happy. Sometimes I think, what if we hadn't drunk that night? What if I hadn't kissed her? Maybe I'd be living a normal life now, without this constant ache. But then I remember how she laughed when I called her Mandarin, and I realize I would have fallen for her anyway. Some feelings are just inevitable. Maybe life breaks its own rules sometimes, not because we're bad, but because we're human. Now I just try to move on, no expectations, no fantasies. But sometimes, when I smell jasmine in the air, her favorite scent, I can almost feel her next to me again. And I whisper, "I'm sorry."